Good evening and welcome to the Menomonee Falls High School gym for tonight's Greater Metro matchup between the Brookfield Central and Menomonee Falls. Chuck Demsey joined by my broadcast partner and good friend Bill Hintz. Bill, good evening.
Hey Chuck, how you doing?
Fabulous. So we got a good matchup tonight. And when you look on paper, my friend, really, both of these teams look really matched up. Both are coming in with winning 6 of the last 7. Both average 60 points per game. Both of them score about 55% of their points in the second half, and their average margin of win is 13 and 14. So you talk about closely matched up.
Right. Yeah, and I think right now, if you look at, they just showed the Greater Metro Conference standings, and you can see the Falls is 3 and 3, Central is 4 and 2. And you and I were talking before the game started about a common opponent, and their common opponent is Sussex Hamilton. And Brookfield Central Lancers lost by 16, and Falls turns around last Friday, and actually wins by 5. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting game from that perspective. And we've got some ideas about what needs to be done by both teams, so we can show those real quickly. With Falls, they have to control the tempo. They like to, when they feel it, they want to keep pressing. They want to keep going aggressively. Coach was talking in the paper about finishing strong. He's got to finish strong. They don't want to just start something. They want to finish strong. Number 3, they've got to, you know, what they have to do is they have to know where number 34, Brugging is. Brugging is their 21-point per game player. And then I said build on 4-game win streak. I was a little off. It was 6 out of 7, but clearly the Falls is playing extremely well. They had a little bit of a hiccup there against West Dallas Central. But other than that, they've really been playing well, and I think Coach Farley's pretty happy with that. And as far as Brookfield Central, what the Lancers must do, I'm sorry, it's the Lancers. It's kind of like a laser Lancer. Anyways, they have to contest all the shots because really Falls does shoot well from the outside. They've got to box out and rebound, and that's the greatest challenge for Brookfield Central because they really don't have any real tall, strong people. That's going to be tough. They've got to know where Gruber and McMurtry are. Those are the top 2 players for the Falls, and they have to bounce back from that ugly loss to Sussex Hamilton. Very difficult for them, and they've got their work cut out for them. I think it'll be a good game.
I think we're getting ready to hear the rendition of the national anthem, or the introductions, I think. So at this point, what we're going to do is step aside, turn things over to the POA voice of Menomonee Falls, Mr. Jerry Missling, a.k.a. Mr. Wonderful.
Yes,
so,
absolutely, and I think you're
there
singing
he
the
is.
national anthem today, aren't you?
One point that, as we might have a minute to sneak this in, Bill, people might be looking around, hey, do I got to adjust the color on my screen because Menomonee Falls is usually burgundy or red? But actually tonight there's an American Heart Association fundraiser going on in which they're selling T-shirts to raise money for heart awareness. So that's why you're seeing the red out tonight.
Sounds great.
And I wish I would have known that. I would have stopped at home and got out of the Tommy Bahama kind of Florida shirt and got red.
Definitely a Tommy Bahama shirt you got on.
Anthony Lukey, welcome to Menomonee Falls High School, the home of the Indians. Tonight's Greater Metro Conference varsity matchup features a visiting Brookfield Central Lancers and your Menomonee Falls Indians. Would everyone please rise? This past week, the Brookfield Central Lancer community tragically lost 2 members of its family. At this time, please stand and join us for a moment of silence in remembrance of Aaron Nelson, 2015 graduate, and Malik Turner. Please keep their families, friends, and the entire Brookfield Central community in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you, everyone. To honor America and our real heroes, our men and women in the armed forces, especially those serving overseas and away from their friends and families and in harm's way, please rise, remove your hats, and please be respectful for the singing of our national anthem by Menomonee Falls senior Julia Graybill.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming
senior Julia Grable. It's nice to know our speakers are still working.
As always, what a wonderful rendition of the national anthem. What a wonderful way to start this game. So again, Bill, this really is a key matchup for both of these Greater Metro teams tonight. So looking where they're at, 3rd and 5th in the conference.
And it's also the last game of the first round. So these are all, the first time they're going through the conference with all of these matchups. So this is a big game. I think Falls wants to end on a positive note. They've got the home court advantage. Central has to get going. It'll be interesting.
All right, let's turn it over to Jerry and introduction to the team.
Lancers are head by head coach Dan Landry, assisted by Matt Alexson, Joe Shell, and Kyle Feeder. The starting lineup for the Lancers. A 6'1" junior number 10, Sam Rody. 6'1" senior co-captain number 22, Henry Merstberger. 5'9" freshman number 32, Gage Malinsek. A 6'3" senior number 34, co-captain Andrew Rudin. And 6'3" senior number 42, Chris Reisner, presenting the Brookfield Central Lancers. Now let's meet your Menomonee Falls Indians. Indians are head by head coach Ben Farley, assisted by Chris Spielbauer and Chris Wentworth. Now the starting lineup for the Indians. A 5'11" junior number 4, Justin Gruber. A 6' junior number 10, Jalen Champion. 6'5" senior number 40, Matt Henningsen. And our seniors, 6'1" senior co-captain Bryce McMurtry. 6'4" senior number 11, Jaron Fry. Presenting your Menomonee Falls Indians. Tonight's officials are assigned by the Greater Metro Conference.
Just about ready for tip-off here. Bill, and when we look at it, Falls is sending out, 2 seniors and 3 underclassmen. And on the other side of the court, they've got a couple of seniors going out. And
got a 9th grader going out and 3 seniors, yeah. Yeah, it's real interesting. I mean, even if we did the matchup, Brookfield Central's got 8 seniors on the team, 7 juniors, 1 10th grader, and 1 9th grader, and the 9th grader is starting. So I would like to think that that's a sign that we should see a lot from Gage Malinsek.
And we are underway here in Menomonee Falls. And the Indians control the initial tip, moving from our left to our right. McMurtry on top, swinging it around. It'll be interesting to see, too, Bill, in the early going here. What do they look to do? Are they going to try and move it inside, work on the outside? Right now, looks like the Lancers are in a man-to-man defense.
Yeah, straight up man-to-man right now. And what's also interesting is Falls actually has 2 guys taller than their tallest player. Their tallest player is 6'3". We have a 6'4" and a 6'5" out there, so they should be looking for something inside.
Goes with the long ball off the front. Doesn't connect, had a good look, just couldn't come up with it. Earlier you had mentioned, Bill, about controlling the boards. Again, we can just look at the stats that are out there, but the stats that I found on the Wisconsin website, I mean, Lancers significantly out-rebounded their opponents, especially on the defense. So, to your point, they're going to have to box out and not give.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting, too. This Coach Wandry is already starting to work the officials, upset with that call, felt that should not have gone in their direction. Jaden Champion coming out rather quickly.
Malsinek picks up the first foul. And they look to be really aggressive on the ball, too, Bill.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, they're not supposed to be doing hand checking. They're supposed to be watching for physical play. And yet I think most teams come out now and they play very physical, waiting to see how are these officials going to be calling the game.
Falls looks to be trying to bang it inside, but right now the Lancers doing a nice job with this man defense, keeping them out on the perimeter.
Yeah, see, what I don't see is a lot of ball. I see guys holding the balls, but not a lot of picking, not a lot of movement, just kind of like perimeter, kind of pass it, you know, go around the edge. If you're going to play man, they're going to play man-to-man against you. You got to get some strong picks, you know, swing the ball. They're swinging the ball now, but they've got to get more picks where somebody's going to pop open.
And at the high school level, there is no shot clock, so at this possession right here is probably well over a minute right now for the Indians. Looking to move inside off the glass. Nice shot by Frey for the first 2 points of the game. Ties it at 2.
Nice take to the basket. Nice and strong.
Ball was knocked out of bounds. Lancers will retain possession.
We didn't get a chance to comment, but the last time the Lancers scored very, very easily. Penetration and then just dish to the guy underneath. Nobody was boxing him out.
There's a turnover, the first one of the night. And we get a foul off it, Bill, so it's like a double bonus.
Yeah, Sam Rohde with a quick foul there. Frustrated that the Falls was able to make the steal and went for the ball, trying to get it back for the Lancers. Rohde, one of their better players also. 4 rebounds a game.
And as you mentioned early on too, Bill, about controlling Brugnick, he accounts for 40% of their offense. And so as he goes, so do they go. So to your point, if they can control him, they can really limit some of that offensive firepower.
Yeah, they really do have to focus on him. Very nice shot by Justin Gruber. Pull up, nice, nothing but net type of shot.
So we are at 4-2 with the Falls in the lead early here. First half in this Greater Metro Conference between the Lancers and the Indians. Driving to the hoop was Merzenbeck, but
McMurtry with the block. Beautiful.
out for the 3, and he gets it.
Brugink with the 3. You can't let him be that wide open.
If you look at it, Bill, coming into tonight's contest, the Lancers have scored 63 points from the 3-point. Means they're averaging about 5 a game, and we'll have to watch it. Falls is averaging about 3. Here we get a nice little rim runner to go in
And
for
Jalen
2.
Dixon is the one who came in and pulled up and got the shooter's touch shot on that one. And remember, he came in not too long ago here, Jalen Dixon did, for Jaden Champion.
And he's not only got a couple he's got 2 points, but now gets a rebound, pushing it down. Frey on top. McMurtry with a nice move to the glass.
Good penetration, gets it up soft on the glass, and the Indians have that 3-point lead now.
And that was like a Houdini move there, Bill. The way he slid between that defense to get that little underhand scoop shot off the glass.
Right. You mentioned before Brookfield Central is in man-to-man. That's what you're seeing Falls in also. Straight up man-to-man. Pressure on the ball. Unless you're a big man.
Dumps it down low. Number 10.
Rohde.
Rohde can't get it. Goes out of bounds. They'll retain possession.
This is interesting. Coach Wandry is trying to get the attention of the officials tonight.
He's trying to exhort him for a foul there. He thought there was some contact that wasn't called, but pulls up for the 10-footer. And I'm not sure if, oh, he did call the offensive foul, and I'm telling you right now, Bill, Wandry is hot. I mean, he is beyond hot. You can get a camera on him, boy, he is like a bulldog on the front porch that sees the mailman coming.
And that's a foul on Brugink, obviously their star player. That's his first. Team 3rd foul.
Henningsen out on the perimeter looking to dump it in.
Jaden Campion came back in, Champion.
McMurtry from outside, can't get it. So they've tried 2 3-pointers, 0 for 2 now on the 3-point.
Yeah, Yeah, see, that's how they're calling it now. That hand check that used to go by the wayside was not a big issue. Now they're calling that much tighter. So Champion picks up a quick foul there.
But Bill, do you also think that Coach Wandry, how he had been on the ref about making a call, does that have some impact or influence?
It could, but in the beginning of the season, they were talking about how they really wanted to get rid of the physical play and all that stuff. So, based on how much Coach Wandry's been complaining, he'd like to think he had an influence in that call. But
Reasoner pulls up, hits two, 8-7. So far, a very well played game, only one turnover. Falls continues to work around the perimeter, looking to try and bounce it in somehow against this aggressive man-to-man defense.
And you don't want to be giving up the dribble when you have that aggressiveness.
Pulling up, comes up short. Last three shots, they've had some decent looks, but just a little short off the front of the iron.
And right now they're getting no offensive rebounds at all, which is interesting. That just means that Brookfield Central is very well coached. They box out well. They understand what they have to do, even though they're only 6'3". In the old days, we used to talk about rebounding is actually more about position and desire than height. And there's Rhodey with the big three-pointer from the right wing.
To that point, though, Bill, like we talked earlier, and these are the stats off of Wisconsin Sports, that Brookfield Central coming into tonight's game had 304 total rebounds. 219 of them came from the defensive end. So they really limit their team to a one and done.
Yeah, see, and that's about position and desire, just like what I was saying. I think that's really important for Brookfield Central. For them to be this competitive and without having true big men, I think that's awesome for Central.
That could be pretty big for the Indians right now, Bill, in that Brugnick has picked up his second foul already early in this first half. So he went to the bench. Remember, that's the guy that's 40% of their offensive production.
Right, yeah, 20 points. And
nice little McMurtry with a nice little shorthand shot.
And suddenly it's tied back up. Nice soft touch around the basket. McMurtry, quite the athlete. Obviously big part of the football team, now big part of the basketball team.
Falls looks to be in a man-to-man here, right, Bill?
Yeah. Haven't changed.
Couldn't box out.
Yeah,
they did a nice job there, Coach, contesting the shot, but no one got a body on the man to
but they're also out of position. So whenever you have that kind of a foul, that's a foul of I'm out of position, so I think I'll try to block it, and that usually leads to a foul, and then they get a chance for, two free throws.
So when you say out of position, help a little clarity for the folks at home.
Yeah, he was actually he was side by side with the man he fouled instead of boxing him out. And boxing out is critical in this situation. You can't just assume because on paper you're taller than the other team that they're going to let you have the inside position. So you have to fight to get the inside position, and you have to box out.
Merceberger makes the first one and the second.
And for the Lancers, number 25.
That's one thing when you look at both of these teams, though, Bill, coming into tonight's game, from the charity stripe, they're both pretty good. Brook Central 76 and the Falls 70, but when you look at the top 3-point producers for them, they're actually like 80% from the foul line. So if it comes down late at the game and they're on the line, they got a pretty good shot.
Yeah, this would not be either team, you don't really want to put them on the free throw line.
And there's the Falls' first turnover of the night.
Yeah, that's not exactly the best spot for a bounce pass.
And I've heard from previous broadcasts that the coach doesn't really like that bounce pass.
The old coach doesn't, especially if it's in the lane.
Again, they dump it down low.
Yeah, see, that's, they stopped the penetration, and then nobody slid over to cut in front of that. Watch this. So watch, now ball's coming down. See, this guy's supposed to slide down and box out. Instead, he stays behind. The only chance he has of blocking that shot is if he fouls him. And Rhodey steals it and puts it back in again.
They increased the lead to 6, 10-16. And I got the sense that timeout was due there, Bill, didn't you? That just momentum was changing. They were getting a little sloppy.
Absolutely. Well, and suddenly, you were tied, and all of a sudden you're down by 6, and it's all because of correctable errors. Things like boxing out, things like not throwing bad passes, things like making sure that you know where everybody is on the floor. And I just think that they're missing something when they don't really pick up each other. You can sense team defense when it's working. There's always everybody's covering for everybody else. Some players are out there when they're assigned man-to-man, they go, hey, this is my man as long as my man didn't score. But if you don't rotate over and you don't help out, that becomes an issue. You got to play team defense in high school boys basketball.
So let me ask you, looks like both teams are playing man-to-man, and it looks like an aggressive man-to-man. How much does that take away? I mean, you look at some of these players, got to start to be getting gassed now, playing about 10 minutes all out.
Yeah, I mean, if you notice, there's at least 3 subs that have come into the game for the Falls. And if you look, Brookfield Central makes it harder on us because they make everybody take their jacket off. But I have noticed at least three subs in, and we're still in the first half of the first half. So I think they're actually pretty well-conditioned athletes, and like we said, this is the end of the first rotation through the conference. So
that'll be the 15th foul on the Lancers. So the Indians have been doing a nice job, maybe to your thing, getting them out of position, picking up fouls. So they're going to be looking to be in the bonus here going forward.
Not only bonus in the first half, but it's also interesting. It might actually have an impact in the second half if you get a couple of those guys in foul trouble. That's why Brugging, is not in there right now, because if he picks up a third, that's going to change the face of the game.
In for Brookfield Central is number 12, Andrew Wojcik.
Falls has got some nice quickness. They just don't want to give up that dribble. They need to kind of be a threat, a triple threat.
Henningsen looking to try and get some relief. Someone's got to get him something out there on top. That's typically not your point guard, big number 40. You want him down on the block,
As a matter of fact, if you notice, what you have is you don't have McMurtry, who is kind of your leader out there. He's the senior. He's the one who knows most everything that needs to happen. And so in the case with McMurtry not out there, somebody like McMurtry would have known that you gotta save the post player who's stuck at the top of the key.
So Champion has the miss, but Henningsen's there to get the rebound, gets fouled on the up, so that is 16 fouls. So again, let's see how well this 70% shooting team does from the floor. Henningsen misses the first of 2.
And I'm a big stickler for free throws, and that's something that you have absolute control over, and you got to make sure that they go in. Now he's 1 for 2, so that's not bad, but it'd be a lot better if he was 2 for 2.
Henningsen, a nice rotation, pulls up for the 3, skips off. Good rebound by Gruber, and we're pushing it back down for the Indians. Oh, Gruber trying to get Henningsen down, just didn't get through, and so that is a turnover for the Falls. They're second for the night.
Yeah, our old philosophy was we wanted to pass it high to a tall guy. So you throw it down in the lower regions, all these other guys can get their hands on it, tip it away or knock it away or steal it. So get that ball high to a tall guy.
Foul on the Falls. We will now have it inbounded. They miss, so Brookfield's gone cold here the last 2 minutes. Let's see if the Falls get,
Didn't look good.
Yeah, we got a timeout on the floor. What happened? This is, I don't know if we got a dislocated shoulder or something. He obviously is in pain.
Yeah, that's probably a dislocation. That's one of those things you don't want to mess with. You want to make sure you incapacitate it.
There we see some of the Red Out tonight, being sponsored by the American Heart Association, and there's our man.
Dave Petroff.
Dave Petroff, former athletic director.
Rick Recklitz and his wife.
That's his beautiful bride behind him, as well as his son and daughter-in-law. Oh.
Getting a full view of the entire Recklitz family, the grandkids.
Well, what better way than to spend it here Friday night in Wisconsin watching a little high school basketball?
Well, and to that point, if you kind of scan the whole audience, I mean, you really do get a pretty impressive crowd. This is a good turnout for a high school boys basketball game. Neither team is first place in the conference, but there's good fan support here in the Falls.
So the Lancer has been helped off the court with the aid of the trainer, and they're tending him. He still does look like he's in pain, so let's just hope that he's okay. 16-13, 7:41 left here in the first half. Indians are down by 3. Lancers with the ball. Henningsen with the foul.
And see, now they're calling again, the hand checks are getting called tighter and tighter as the game is progressing here. And you know, it's one of those things in basketball, high school basketball. In the old days, they called it tight. Then they started getting it really loose. And now all of a sudden it's tight again, and players and coaches have to adjust. Oh, a nice shot. That was a nice shot by Andres Peralta Werns. That's a mouthful.
Nice pull-up jumper.
Yeah, soft touch.
Increases the lead to 5. McMurtry out on the top. Pull up 3. Again, short. All of the misses tonight have been short, but excellent job keeping that ball alive by number 21 for a second shot.
Yeah,
excellent hustle right there, Bill.
But Gruber grabbed it and drove right to the basket and made the shot. That was the big play there was Justin Gruber for the Falls.
And 21 did a nice job, though, Guile with hustle to tip that ball back into play to keep it alive. There we've got to travel. And they're calling a lot of little fouls, aren't they?
Yeah, well, that's, like I said, that's what they're starting to call. And, you know, it's kind of like with coaches, you got to be careful what you ask for, because you were asking for, you know, you didn't like that foul or this foul. Well, now they're calling it tight, and, you know, it's do you like it called that tight as well. Of course, Central likes it because they've been staying on their end, and Falls has started to rack up the. As a matter of fact, if you notice, the total fouls for the game now is almost equal. Matter of fact, it just became equal, 6-6. So both teams are now ready for the bonus.
Frey picks up his first, and now team fouls are even at 6 each, where the Falls was doing a nice job, but the last several minutes have picked up like 4 fouls.
Yeah, well, they picked up 3 fouls on just this possession, so.
Defense is still at man-to-man, keeping them way out high. And again, as we commented, their number 1 scorer, Brugnick, is not in. Little pull-up, 10, 12-footer, drops it for 2.
And I'm just going to go with the last part. Peralta Werns has hit now 2 baskets in a row and gives Brookfield Central an edge.
There we go with a one-on-one.
Falls on number 25, Andres Peralta Werns, his second, team 7. And for the Lancers, number 10.
Like we said, both teams are going to be in the bonus.
So Peralta Werns picks up
free
his
throw.
second. They're now at 17 fouls, and that's going to be starting to stack up, Bill, because they've had some rotation, but not a lot. That's his second foul.
1 and 1. That's why it's so important to focus and concentrate and make your first free throw in every situation.
Frey throws the second one up. Wow. Gets the shooter touch, so 2-2 there, Coach.
Yeah, it couldn't have been much flatter because it just barely got past the front of the rim. But again, shooter's touch and it rolled in.
Hey, at the end of the day, it goes down on the scorecard as
right.
1, right?
Still the same.
That baseline is really open as they're stretching them out. Drives in, can't get it, but Henningsen doing a nice job down low, grabbing the rebound, and the Falls is back off, coming back into backcourt, looking for 2. Fry pulls up, hoping to get the rebound. Again, Henningsen, nice job.
It's almost like it was a pass.
And I'm impressed with the big man. He's moving, he's getting in the right spot, doing a lot of the nice good stuff here. Look at
Yeah, we'll
And
give
it
him
was
that as a
almost
pass
like
'cause
he
it didn't hit the
anticipated.
rim.
Well, he almost anticipated that unless he saw it get hit.
Well, I think he knew he needed to be coming strong to that side, and since there were two players that were actually taking care of Fry, I thought it was important that Henningsen be that aggressive. Nice job by Henningsen.
Matt hits the first but misses the second.
Ah.
So 3 of 4 of the last 4 free throws.
See, you make those free throws and you got the lead. It's 2018 right now. So.
Driving, and number 32, Malinczak does a nice job cutting the defenders, laying it off the glass for 2.
Now remember, Malinczak is the freshman, 9th grader playing out with the more experience.
Back door to McMurtry. Get in there.
No, actually that back door was actually to Jalen Dixon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Back door, but he did. The freshman showed his inexperience with that back door, but Dixon just rolled it out.
Cole now driving in.
Fouls on number 40, Matt Henningsen. That's his second.
Henningsen picks up his second foul.
And that was one of those ones that would have been nice to watch because, who established position first? Was it the player going up? Colin now, also an interesting story. He's also a 9th grader. So the young man at the free throw line, number 40.
Cole now. The first one rattles out. Here it is on rebound.
Yeah,
He
see,
looked
boy,
at-
I tell you, that looked
he
to
had
me
pretty
like
good
Henningsen
position,
had
didn't he?
position, yeah.
And I can't tell if if he come up off his feet, but
Now you can see his feet are still moving. Yeah, I suppose. That's why the officials have more experience calling that stuff than I do.
Falls looking to cut into that 5-point lead. 4:20 left here in the first half. 18-23. We're showing 22. It's 23 on the official scoreboard. Little kiss off the glass for McMurtry. Nice job
like
to
that,
close that lead to 3.
Drove and penetrated and pulled up and then realized that he actually had kind of a pick there and was able to put it up nice and soft off the backboard.
Back to live action here. Number 10, Sam Rode up on the top with the ball.
Yeah, Rhodey. Here's that freshman again. Wow.
Tell you what, number 2, Gage Malinczak.
9th grader, 5'9". He's the real deal. Looks like he's very aggressive offensively.
I'll tell you what, with that kind of skill now, can you imagine Bill in 3 more years?
Right, exactly. Now it'll be interesting to see if he's going to have a growth spurt or not, but if he's 5'9", more than likely he's going to end up being a point guard or a shooting guard.
Falls continues to swing around the perimeter, looking to try and open up a shot. Clock continues to tick down to 3:19. Fry pulls up from 3, can't get it to go. They're 0 from 3, 0 for 4 right now from the 3, Bill.
Yeah.
Fry down underneath, but no, number 42, Chris Reisner. Nice job putting it in there and extends the lead to 7, which is the biggest lead so far for the Lancers tonight.
Now, and that was the assist by Gage Malinczak, the 9th grader, made that kind of happen. Drew the defense, dumped it off.
Far 3. That's the first 3-pointer tonight. Boy, did that come. Jalen Dixon from far away nails it to close that gap to 4. That was a timely, well-needed bucket, Bill.
It really was, yeah, and he squeezed it, put it in.
The pick and roll, I thought he got a little push on Frey on the back, but they didn't call it. He really nicely executed, but couldn't finish. That number 3-pointer rims out.
Champion for that shot.
Falls is starting to feel or look a little long ball. They've made 1 so far tonight. Skip pass over to number 40. Cole now, boom, down from long.
That's the freshman from Brookfield Central. Long ball in, nothing but net.
Extended back to a 7-point lead, which is their largest margin of so far tonight. McMurtry calling out some offense.
Yeah, it's actually 30-23 at this point.
Justin Gruber gets banged. He'll go to the line for a 1-and-1.
That's the 9th grader.
I'll tell you right now, Bill, that ninth grader, he looks to have good, not only good skills, but looks to have good basketball court awareness, doesn't he?
Yes. I think, whenever you take a younger player in boys basketball and you bring them up, the biggest challenge that they face is the difference in speed and quickness of the opponents that they're playing. They're used to playing kids their own age, and those kids develop pretty much at the same rate that they do. But all of a sudden, they're playing against sophomores, juniors, and seniors who are lightning quick, very experienced, have been on the floor before. So to be a freshman, and this is true of both the freshmen on Falls as well as Brookfield Central, you got to be something special to get the opportunity to play at the varsity level.
Gruber does a nice job making both of those free throws again, cutting the lead down to 5 with 1:24 here. So I think, Coach, what you'd like to do is keep this thing within 2 to 3 if you could at half going in and make your adjustments, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Drive into the lane. Indians do a nice job cutting them off mid-paint, forcing a short shot.
Well, and to that point, that's actually more of what I was talking about in terms of team defense. They're doing a much better job of team defense in general than I saw in the first few minutes of the first half.
Clock is down to 54. Looks like they're going to be content to work this around, try and get one shot here and get the deficit down to 2 or 3. Ball out of bounds. Indians will retain possession. 44 seconds left, 25-30. Lancers are in the lead. Jaron Frey is going to inbound it. Champion has it. Back out Frey, one-hander, can't get it to go. 35 seconds, and the Lancers are going to have one shot here.
And Frey's got I haven't seen him play this season so far, but Frey's got a very, very flat shot. So if it doesn't go in or hit the spot on the backboard, he doesn't have a lot of play there.
Trying to do a skip pass, they don't get it.
McMurtry
Lancers will retain possession. Good job of getting hands up there, knocking it off the bottom side of the backboard. Ball comes in deep to number 22, Henry Mersberger.
I'm always fascinated. That was just, in the old days, we used to actually run inbounds plays. Just get the ball in and let's play our offense.
Malsinek, the freshman with the ball, says, give it, I'm going down deep. Tries to make something happen, doesn't get it, but Bill picks up a foul. I'm telling you what, for a freshman and that kind of confidence, let's look at it. He's going into the big man land and see him. He dog-dog had the three-pointer.
And he's got a good quick first step. You'll also notice on that particular penetration, he was not afraid to drive left-handed. Looks like a right-handed shooter. Yeah, he's a right-handed shooter. And that's one of the key things is, can you be a freshman, get to the free throw line, and then make the free throws? I think that's critical. Because, teams are going to test a freshman. They're going to see, can this kid make free throws under pressure? And right now, he makes the first. Let's see what he does with the second.
And that first one, Bill, was nothing but bottom. I mean, it didn't nick a chip of paint off that rim.
Yeah. Little thing I saw, he actually took his eyes off the target there. So, interesting.
We are end of one here in Menomonee Falls with the Lancers up, actually 31-25, so 6-point lead. Bill, what do you think so far, first half?
Well, it's kind of like what you said at the very beginning. It looks like it's going to be a close game. And I think right now, at least the Lancers have been able to go a little bit deeper in their bench, get a little bit more action. I think they've done a really, really good job. I got to give the Lancers credit. They've done a really good job of boxing out. Falls is not getting second and third shots very often on the inside. Occasionally they'll get it, but that's a disciplined defense that can box out and make sure that Falls doesn't get a lot of second and third shots. So I think that's kind of critical for Lancers, and for the Falls, they're not out of it. I mean, they got some things going their way as well, and they got 25 points. So
we got the dance team, so we're going to turn it over for them, and we're going to take a break.
Abby Guma, Brianna Russell, Kennedy Midland, Amanda Cole, Jesse Stossel, Dave Stetter, Bridget Singh, Grace Marking, Lori Lett, Cody Bradley, Allie Dieselhorst, Jackie Drays, Katie Ebner, Brooke Hansen, Skylar Kennedy, Anna Cole, Kelly Maloney, Olivia Osterson, Lily Reeves, Monica Rabinsky, Anna Richard, Kevin Randoni, Dennis Schmidt, and Tamara Tapter. Once again, it is American Heart Night. We are having kids coming to the stands with buckets. All donations will go to the American Heart Association. It's a big killer in this country. Please support Menomonee Falls and the students battle and support the American Heart Association. Thank you for your cooperation. I know I've got some friends out there that still have their first communion money. Might be a good time to part with it. Once again, we do want to thank the band for coming out. Makes every Friday night special here. Under the direction of Meredith Planton. And we do miss John Wilker. I'd also like to recognize Menomonee Falls wrestling team who crushed Marquette last week, 63-18, getting pins for the Indians with Tyler Gill, Austin Sankey, Eric Wunsch, John Thomas.
Welcome
Curtis
back.
Lyon,
Here we
Brandon
are.
Schaefer, and
Halftime.
Nate
Lancers up on the Indians 31-25 in this Greater Metro Conference. So
Got a few
first half is
statistics.
in the book. So
Yeah.
Bill, why don't you walk through with the first half stats and what you got?
A few statistics. Leading for the Falls is McMurtry and Gruber, as we kind of figured that's their number 1 and 2 scorers, 6 points apiece. Dixon with 5, Henningsen with 4, and Fry with 4. And I think the other side, interesting enough, Brookfield only hit that 1 3-pointer and then basically got 2 fouls, and then they never put him back in the ball game. And yet their 2 freshmen, Now and Melansek, they contributed 9 points between the 2 of them. So clearly those 2 freshmen are a big part of their future, but they're also kind of ready to get in there and contribute right now, especially when their number 1 scorer, as you were mentioning, he's a 20-point per game kind of guy, and he's not giving them the numbers. And so tonight the 2 freshmen have stepped up so far in the first half. So it'll be really interesting to see. Falls is 6 of 8 from the free throw line. I'm a stickler for that, but I think that's kind of an important statistic. And really, Brookfield Central has done pretty well from the free throw line too. I think they've only missed 2. So it's going to be an interesting second half. Nobody is in big foul trouble. Nobody's got 3, but there are enough guys with 2 that'll be part of the storyline for the second half.
Yeah, for me, I think the key is going to be with Brugnick, right?
Yep.
He picked up 2 early fouls, and he spent a disproportionate amount of that first half on the bench. Like you say, 40% of his production, averaging 20 a game. He's got 3, so that's 7 points you potentially lost, right?
Yeah.
If he comes back in, if he picks up another quick one, you get him on the bench. I think that'd be good for the Falls, but if he gets hot, that 6-point lead could build pretty quick.
Well, but to the benefit of Brookfield Central, obviously they knew that their number 1 40% guy was out. And, the other kids have picked up the pace, and they've done some nice things. So, they've got a 6-point lead. I mean, normally when you have your number 1 scorer out of the ball game, you're not up by 6 at halftime.
Here's another nice feature we've added, the split screen here, so you can see both coaches giving a little bit of pre-tip or pre-second half instruction here.
Please stand, please.
So we're ready to start. Like we said, Bill, 18 minutes here is going to determine again, where each of these teams start to stack up in this Greater Metro Conference standing.
And recognize a moment of silence. 2 years ago today, the referee and basketball community lost Greg Von Ruden to a long and courageous battle with cancer. Greg's father, brothers, uncles, and cousins are all active members of the Southeastern Wisconsin basketball officiating community. In honor of Greg's memory, tonight's officials are wearing yellow whistles in support of Yellow for Greg. Thanks to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Greg and his family were able to take a once-in-a-lifetime trip to the Sandy Zoo prior to Greg's passing. Officials across southeastern Wisconsin will be donating game checks tonight to the Make-A-Wish Foundation in Greg's honor with the hope of providing such a memory to Drake, an 8-year-old with lymphoid leukemia. To donate, please visit WISB0A.net. Once again, that's WISBOA.net, and click on the yellow whistles for Greg Make-A-Wish link. Greg touched the lives and hearts of all those that knew him, so we ask you to join us, and once again, thank you for your moment of silence.
That's a really good gesture right there, So we do start here the second half. The first half, Bill, I thought overall was well played. Unofficially, I show the Falls with 3 turnovers and Brookfield like 1, so not a lot of turnovers, so pretty good from that piece of it. I had Brook with 2 3-pointers and the Falls with 1, so we'll see what this next 18 minutes brings.
The other thing that you and I noticed was that there were 17 fouls called in the first half, 8 on the Falls and 9 for Brookfield Central. It'll be interesting to see if that same trend happens in the second half as well.
Second half is underway. Again, the Falls with a 6-point deficit. And the Lancers with the ball. Kicking out for the three, skips out. Frey does a nice job trying to get it, but goes off of the Lancers. And so the Indians will get their first possession to start the second half here.
Bounces off of Merceberger, who was trying to make the steal. Fortunate for the Falls.
McMurtry walking it up court. Lancers still in that man-to-man, Bill. Henningsen dumps down low to Fry. Nice job. Gets his own rebound. Puts back for, I think that's one of the very first second opportunities they've gotten tonight.
I totally agree. I think that offensive rebound was big. It came back to him, and he put it back up nice and soft. Kind of a baby, a little half hook almost.
And that cuts the deficit to 4 from 3. He had a good uncontested look, but comes up short. Falls are bringing it down.
Reisner left wide open at that three-point line.
McMurtry seems patient out there, just letting guys get set up and doing some switching and cutting. I see a little bit better movement here on him.
Yes.
Don't you, than when they started?
We talked about that in the first half, that there wasn't as much on-ball, off-ball picks. Got to get better movement. Brookfield Central is very good. In some ways, it's kind of like a matchup zone because they're kind of sagging. Notice there's 4 blue guys with feet in the lane. So that means they're sagging. They're making sure that they're not going to get a disadvantage in that lane area.
Well, that's why for me I was confused. Is it a zone or not, like you say, because you see them matched up on man, but they do sag back and they're protecting that area as well. Pulls up off the front, but again, another second rebound by Henningsen. A big guy goes up strong. Beautiful, Bill. 2 possessions, and they get 2 looks on each of them.
Yeah, that's very big. And like you said, we were talking about that in the first half. There weren't as many offensive rebounds. They get 2 offensive rebounds, and they get 2 scores. Suddenly, it's a 2-point ball game.
And you've got to be excited if you are a coach, and that you've held them now almost 3 minutes without a bucket, and now you created their first turnover.
Yeah, it's definitely whatever Coach Farley said at halftime. It's paid off so far.
Up on top is Gruber with the ball.
Yeah, see, but you can't be a point guard and pick up the dribble. You can't. You just can't do that. No reason to pick it up.
That was almost a turnover, but Champion does a nice job getting it. They retain possession. Fry skips it over to McMurtry. He's going to go in. Goes up. And he gets it in and one. Wow. I'm telling you, it must have been, Bill.
Every replay goes strong, left-handed, gets hit, goes in, and again, shooter's touch. McMurtry's got just a nice soft touch around the basket. Kind of looks like a little bit of like Russell Wilson there, doesn't he?
He does. And he makes the 3-point conversion.
Yeah,
and the Falls have the lead, I believe, almost for the first time tonight.
Yeah, it could be, and I think, and that's a great way to get it too. Penetration. Come out and score the first 7 points.
What's interesting for me then too, Bill, is that it looks like halftime adjustment was pound that ball down because all 3 of those shots were in the paint.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then on that last one, they didn't rotate down to get the next person over. When you're trying to stop the penetration, that doesn't mean everybody else should stand there and watch. You've got to sink. Brookfield Central does a really great job of sinking to the lane when the ball is being penetrated. If Falls could do that, they would really, really shut off a lot of opportunities for the Lancers.
Falls creates their first turnover of the evening. They're down by 1. Lancers driving. Can't get it to go. Number 32, Gage Malinchak. And who is that? The freshman again.
Yeah, he definitely has that first quick step, and he creates some real defensive issues. Still got to stop a guy on a baseline move, though.
Nothing but the bottom on that one. Let's see. It was last time he missed the second of his 2 free throws. Seconds on its way, and that too finds the bottom. Well, they were down by 1. They're now up by 3. So how quickly that can turn.
Well, and Malencic has already 7 points. Not bad for the freshman.
Champion out on top. Henningsen just can't find the handle. He's a little frustrated with himself. Had it down low, got away from him. And that's their second turnover here in the second half with not quite 4 minutes gone. Malinsek bringing it up for the Lancers. Kicks it over to Reisner. Dumps it down. Nice.
Wow.
Nice job by Gruber, but just got the shooter's roll on that one, Bill.
Brugging just put it in. That's what they're expecting him to do. Soft touch, gets the shooter's roll.
So back up by 5. So we've seen a couple of swings here early in where Falls were hot for that first 2 minutes of the half and have gone quiet since. McMurtry jumping, hopping. Henningsen, the big fella, with it. Another 2 attempts at the bucket, and they come away with 2.
Yeah, and you notice Henningsen did a pick and roll there, and then although he didn't get the pick and the roll, he actually got the rebound and put it back.
But what great camera work, and what you did see, Coach, was a good box out on that, right?
Yeah.
You saw it coming, got his backside into him, pushed back,
Yeah,
was there for the rebound.
When he didn't get the dump pass, from McMurtry, he obviously was in position to get the rebound and put it back in. That's 6 points now on offensive rebounds. Lancers still have the lead.
Lancers inbound the ball under their own bucket. Malinsek hands it off. Ruganet, and he travels. So one thing they've been doing a good job is their top scorer, number 34. They've really held him in check.
They really have. I mean, he's still only got 3 points. And I think they now know that, I probably wouldn't have kept him out quite that long. And depends on how much I trust, but.
Champion with a move inside.
And you notice who he was
Sweet
doing that
move.
on. He was attacking Brugging. So Champion did a nice scoop, and Brugging did not want to pick up that third foul. Very smart move on Champion's part.
Deficit been reduced now to 1, Bill. Falls has done a nice job keeping this close throughout. Staying in the man-to-man. Although it looks almost like a zone now, doesn't it? Or is that sagging man-to-man?
Yeah, it's still sagging. And you see it there front in the low post, back picking.
There's some good body movement going down between the big guys with Henningsen that fighting for position. They get called for a travel.
Yeah,
Number 22, Henry Mersberger.
He's a senior.
Their second turnover of the second half. So what was a pretty clean first half, turning in a little sloppier. Wow. McMurtry, they just rolled out the red carpet there.
Yeah,
Bill, there was no contesting that.
Mersberger just kind of opened the door and let him just take it and didn't even want to contest it. It's like almost they're afraid to get another foul.
Falls back on top for like the second time tonight. Oh, looking for a travel call there. They don't get it. Malsinek dumps it down. Little head fake. Nice job by Fry, just trying to hold it, but
Reisner,
good shot over him.
Wide open on that weak side, pulls up. Really pushes it hard to get it up and in.
It seems clear to me, though, Bill, that Coach said we're pounded into the paint because just about every shot now, and they're at the line again shooting 2, and let's see what Jaden can do here. Makes 1.
Nice free throw.
Back in for the Lancers, number 25, Andres Peralta.
All tied up.
Replacing Roden.
It's interesting. Okay, so Peralta Werns, who is a 10th grader, in for Rhodey.
It's on its way, and he made 2. Very nice. Continues a 1-point lead. Coach looking to make a substitution and bring Cole now in, the other freshman that's seen some time tonight. Out on top is Malsinek again.
Hand checks. Yeah, there. Now we're calling hand checks again.
Gruber's like, me? Was that on me?
Well, can you imagine how good that 8th grade team was that had Cole now and Gage, Malinsek? I mean, They're pretty good. If they last year they were starting on an 8th grade team, this year they're starting and playing a lot of minutes on the varsity.
Brugnick's got it out top. It's a nice camera angle by our crew right there. Gives you a look right close up. Brugnick was thinking about it, but again, Fry does a nice job getting in his grill and limits him.
Got the deflection.
Brugnick pulling up for 3. Bang.
Yeah, I tell you, that was a great deflection, but of course Brugging grabbed it, pulled it back in, hit nothing but net. Now he's got 2 threes, 6 points.
McMurtry does a nice job driving. A little hard off the glass, gets a hard roll and out, and the Lancers are running.
Interesting. Brugging is not forced.
He's taking his other 3. Boom. That's a second 3 for him, and the
So
second for them in the half.
And he's 3 for 3 from the 3. So
Wow, nice smooth stroke though, hey?
that's the guy you do not want to let get hot. He's making up for that only 3-point first half. He had 17 to make up, and he's getting it pretty quick.
Boom, and we answer number 4, Justin Gruber. Oh, they said 2 on the line. I thought it was a long ball. Still looking for their first 3-pointer for the second half. The Lancers already have 2. Gratitude to Mr. 34, Brugnick, or Brugnick, if I just...
Brugging.
Brugny?
Brugging.
Oh,
The reason I know that is because there was a famous coach when I used to coach named Carl Brugging, and he was the head coach at Clintonville, and they had an unbelievable record.
and you can see right there, Coach looking at him like, really? Come on. He's not happy with the call.
No, he's still working the officials, hoping for something.
3-point game, 9:40 to go. McMurtry gets a little pick on the top. Pull-up jumper. Boom. Nice shot, number 23, Jalen Dixon.
I like how he sees he actually typifies the guy who finds the good shot. The good shot for him, it's an open shot within his range. He was open, he knew it was in his range, did nothing but net. Nice job, Jalen Dixon.
And they get Matt Hanningson on this end for his 3rd foul. And I believe Dixon's 2-pointer there was the first shot they took from beyond 8 feet.
Yep, yeah, probably.
First one is up and in. Extends that lead to 2.
Now this is, I'm sorry, but you got Brugging. He's 3 for 3 from the 3-point arc, and now you take him out and sit him down. And he's only got 2 fouls. I'm sorry, but that's overcoaching. I mean, there's no way Brugging's tired. He sat for, 3/4 of the first half. So, I don't know. What do I know? That's why I'm retired.
McMurtry tries to go up, doesn't get it. Lancers get it and are racing. Going coast to coast is number 10, Sam Brody, but
Wilbur
he was served up a block, and it's going the other way. Here it is on replay, Bill.
Well, watch this. He's got the hand on the ball, which is perfect. They probably could have called hit his head a little bit and everything else, but the ball bounces back off of him, and they get the call. So, nice job.
Good hustle play, getting down court and
athletic. I mean, to be able to time it and block
Gruber
it.
pulls up for 3, off the front of the iron.
Just a little short.
3, no, skips out. McMurtry running, takes down, splits defenders, but again, can't get it to roll.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to figure out why McMurtry was the only guy in the lane. There should have been other people hitting the boards. Everybody's watching. You cannot watch the game. You have to play the game.
It looks like the Lancers are wanting to serve up a steady tie to 3. They didn't get it, but got the
Where's our
rebound.
inside presence? I'm totally surprised.
Coach is looking to bring Fry back into the game. Up for three, rattles in.
That's a big basket.
30-second
Jaden Champion.
timeout by coach to set things up.
Big, big, big shot.
Champion, nice. Pulling up, laying it in. Cuts it to 2-point lead. This is a good game we're watching here, partner, and this is still anyone's game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, 2-point game, 7.5 minutes left. I mean, I think this is an exciting game. Good, typical Greater Metro Conference. You know, two teams that are not at the top of the conference, but are right below there in middle tier. Very competitive against each other.
So in that time right there, Bill, I knew he wanted to get Fry in, makes the three, calls a 30-second timeout. What do you think he's trying to set up, or what did he want to communicate?
Well, I think first thing he's got to get Henningsen out, which he did. He finally got in, and Henningsen was blow. I mean, he was really tired. You could tell. I mean, so not only does he have 3 fouls, but he's also tired. And what we know about young athletes is when they're tired, they tend to foul more. So when you see a guy that picks up his third and he's exhausted, get him out of there and get the next player in. And I think they've gone to a little bit smaller lineup, but I think they're, going to be all right.
And as we see, Andrew, I'm just calling him Andrew now. I'm not trying to say Brooknick, although I might have said it right that time.
Rhodey with that one. 10 points for Rhodey.
And that's their third three-pointer, and that was a short blow because Matt Henningsen's already down, looking to come back in.
But see, the problem is they're not contesting the outside shots.
There's a three, long, didn't follow the shot, might have had a rebound.
Yeah, Rhodey didn't actually square.
But creates a turnover, I believe, by coming back, forcing a high throw. So is that a case too, Bill, where the Lancers unofficially 3 3-pointers here in the second half? We come down, we chuck up a three. Is that where you're almost like, wow, they're hitting threes, I got to hit threes?
I think there's some of that. I think, because if you're not very disciplined in your approach, you have to know what your game is. Again, the definition of a good shot, open shot within your range. If the three-point shot, if you're open on the three-point arc and nobody's contesting you, there's a reason. Because they don't think you're going to make it. So, but if somebody's in your face, they're concerned about you. They're afraid that you're going to make that three.
Bill, I could be on the block and no one could contest me because I'd have a chance struggle, I think.
Oh, I could see you as a competitor out there.
6:48 to go, down by 5. The Falls has had the lead a couple times tonight at 2-pointers, but we get a travel and another turnover. That's the third turnover unofficially here in the second half. 6 altogether tonight.
Yeah, Jaden's trying to make a drive. To me, it looks like they're overplaying him. They're saying that you can't go left. So he took 1 dribble, 2 dribbles left, and then spun back around. But in that spin, it wasn't smooth, so they called him for a travel.
Lancers drive it deep, pulling up, lays it in.
Yeah, Henningsen couldn't go over there and take too much of a charge. He actually backed off on that one and they gave him the baseline.
Peralta Werns pulling up for a three. Gets it to rim in. Wow.
Yeah, Gruber, nothing but net. Well, let's see. Yeah, on this one.
That
Nice
was a well-needed bucket to bring that deficit back to 4. 6 minutes to go. Teams are starting to trade threes. Again, Bill, to your point, I am shocked that Brooknick, is he back in there?
And twice now, Peralta Werns has driven that baseline and pulled up and take the J right in Henningsen's face. That's 4 straight points right there, and that's why Brookfield Central's got a 6-point lead.
Looking to try and beat a champion. Pulls up for 3. Doesn't get the touch to go. Lancers underneath, get the rebound. Walking it up, number 32, Gage Malinsak. Skip pass over. Pace is slowed a little bit here for the Lancers as well. Burning some clock as they look to move the ball and try and get a shot. So do you think this is intentional now where they're trying to burn some clock here, Bill?
Yeah, I think they're trying to get.
Oh, and as they do it, they get the
foul.
turnover. Champion, nice job creating the turnover.
Fouls on number 32, Gabe Malinsek. That's his third.
So Malinsek picks up his third.
Number 34, Andrew Brody. Replacing Merceburg.
You can see on both sides, though, Bill, their lungs are working pretty hard right now after almost 36 minutes of man-to-man.
It's a little surprising. I guess maybe they're not. Maybe they don't do the man-to-man.
There was the bounce pass by the big guy in the paint, and an and one. Very nicely executed. Look at, they leave that baseline open. Nice pass. And that's Brooknick. That's his third.
That's beautiful backdoor. I'm telling you, it's beautiful to see Bryce McMurtry make that catch and then make that layup.
Oh, you got to make that. That would have been a trifecta. You get a two-pointer, you make the free throw, and you get a foul on Brooknick.
Yeah,
right.
That's 4 on him.
And off a turnover as well. So here we got the Falls with the rebound. Down by 4, 4 minutes to go. McMurtry on the top, looking to try and penetrate, comes back out, flips it to Champion. We got ourselves a timeout. Coach Farley says, fellas, let's talk about it. Let's set something up. So you're in the huddle here, Bill. What are we talking about? What are we setting up?
Well, I think what they have to do is they have to understand that they're 4 points down. So offensively, they want to be aggressive. And remember that in the 4-minute time frame, what you want to do is you want to score when the clock's turned off. In other words, you want to get to the free throw line if you possibly can. So I think what you're going to see is a lot of aggressive driving to the basket, pumping in there until you get the lead back. You have to do that from that standpoint. From the defensive standpoint, you can't let them take open shots. You can't, and they're not. I mean, if they walk down here and they've still got a 4-point lead, Brookfield Central is just going to milk the clock like they've been doing it the last couple of times. So then Falls will be forced. They have to talk about, okay, are we going to, I mean, they got 4 fouls before they're in the bonus. So in some ways that can actually be a disadvantage for the Falls because they gotta get to that point where when they foul, they're actually going to put the guy in the free throw line and there's a chance that he'll miss it. Then you also have to talk about who's the bad free throw guys. You gotta pick the guys that are bad free throw shooters.
And here's our camera crew that's bringing it. There they are on the top. We got Don Garusko, Jackie Colo, Jonathan Klein, Matt Grady, Michael Feldman, and of course Mr. Harry Stetzel, the man at the controls.
There they are.
There they are. Come on, wave.
There's the
Don't be there. You go.
We're so lucky we have Falls Cable access. Instant replay. I mean, I was telling people about that today, and they're going, "What do you mean you got instant replay?" I said, "We got instant replay. We're really up there with the big boys."
Back to live action. 3:40 to go. Falls looking to cut this thing to 2 or 1 here in this possession. McMurtry out on top. So you have McMurtry, Fry, Champion, Gruber, and
wow. That is a big-time move. Watch this. Left hand cuts the defense, left-handed layup.
And so Coach calls a timeout, and he's getting Brooknick in. Did I say that right this time?
Brugging. Yeah, you're getting closer. You at least use the G's this time. That's good. But here's the other tale of the story. We've got Falls with 2 timeouts, and that was the first timeout that Brookfield Central's taken. They had 5 timeouts. They still have 4 timeouts, and apparently they haven't felt a need. Well, now with Falls only 2 points behind, they're talking strategy now. What do they want to do? I still think Brookfield Central is going to come out, work the ball, force the Indians to foul, because like I said, they're still 4 fouls away from getting into the bonus. So I think Central's going to play, ball protection, move the ball, keep looking. We actually ran an offense. You get a kick out of this. We actually ran an offense at the end of the game, which was run our offense until we got a layup. I mean, that was the only shot we were allowed to take. Couldn't take a 10-footer. Couldn't take a, you had to make a layup. And hey, you can milk some clock looking for a layup.
Here we are coming down to the last 3 minutes, second period here. 54-56 Lancers in this Greater Metro Conference contest between these 2 teams. Brooknick out on top. Kicking it back around, swinging the ball around the perimeter again, looking for some. Brugnick almost thought of doing it. I know I'm saying his name wrong, but Fry trying to get a little aggressive to get the turnover, but creates the foul instead. That's his third. Lancers will inbound on this side of the court. Inbounds into number 32, Gage Malinsack. And folks, yes, he is a freshman. When you look at him, he's just got really good court presence and just good basketball acumen, it looks like.
And
as well as mentioned skill.
And he's taking the point. That's a big thing. I've always related to point guards. I was a point guard in the old days. But he's also got that great first step. There it is. See that first step? He gets that first step and he's past the guy, and then he can see whatever he wants to do with the ball after that.
And they keep swinging it around to try and hit the man out of the perimeter. Falls is doing a nice job denying so far.
Yeah, see, coach is telling them, just run it, just run it, just run your offense. Still got 3 fouls before there's a bonus.
And they are chewing up some clock. I think we started with like 3:20, so there's about a minute 20 burned off just in this possession alone. Continue to work it around the perimeter, down to 146. I think Fry picked up his 4th.
Yep, I think you're right. 3rd or 4th.
Fouls on number 11, John Fry. That's his 4th.
Yeah, you're right, 4th, yeah. Now let's see if they run an inbounds play.
Number 22, Jalen Dixon, replacing Handy Guns.
Again, they were just content to burn it. And it is only still a 1-possession game, so if they can get a turnover or a missed shot here, they got a chance. And at some point, you get a foul, right? Which I think that's what coach is calling for.
Yeah, but see, if you're going to use that strategy, that tactic, you want to take the fouls. I mean, like I said, you still got, 2 more fouls to take before you get them to the free throw line, so you save some clock.
Lancers called timeout.
So Coach
One
Wandry's
possession.
Down, yeah, he took another timeout, so now they're finally down to 3 timeouts.
So to level set things here, we've got a minute 18 left in the second half. We got Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson trying to be a little camera shy. He is the athletic director here at Menomonee Falls.
Bill, we've got a minute 18 left. Second period, 54-56. You're the Lancers. You're in possession. It seems like, I believe they broke into their front court with like 3:40. They're down to $1.18. They haven't taken a shot. In essence, have burned up almost 2 minutes or better.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come out and look to burn another $1.18.
Well, right, but here's the thing. This is where you do a little bit of strategizing. Based on my statistics, I'm looking at who are the 2 worst free throw shooters that are regulars on the Brookfield Central team. And actually, Malinsack and Now are the 2 worst free throw shooters.
The freshmen.
So the 2 freshmen. And in a pressure game kind of thing, it might be kind of interesting. Can you hit the big free throws? So, you've definitely got Malinsack out there. Right now, you don't have Now out there. If I'm not mistaken, that's number 40, so I don't see him out there right now. But of all the guys that are out there, the worst free throw shooter, like Brugging is a 96% free throw shooter. You don't want to foul Brugging. Reisner is a 92% free throw shooter. You don't want to foul him either.
And we are set to go. So from an Inyard perspective, we have Champion. We've got Dixon, Fry, McMurtry. Oh.
Wow.
And that is Fry's 5th.
and that was so light. There was an interesting take. I don't know if we have that one.
I don't know if we have that one. Here it comes. Comes in.
Now this is Fry then, right? Yeah,
yep.
It's on Fry. Yep. But I mean, there's barely contact. That's one of those situations where he tried to take the charge, and yet because it was kind of a glancing thing, they gave the call actually to Peralta Werns.
Is that part of it though, Bill, on the where he's leaning back? If he would have stayed more vertical, straight up, it would have.
In that particular situation, Peralta Werns played it perfectly. He saw that he was going to be possibly called for that, and he actually slid to the right a little bit. So there was really no real chance for a true take a charge.
Makes the first, extends it to a 3-point lead. Now you hope that he misses this one. I still think there's probably enough time to get 2, but you're almost going to have to chuck up a 3, huh?
Yeah.
Now it's a 4-point possession or 2-point possession.
And now I'm trying to figure out. Now you put your worst free throw shooter in, who's number 40 of the entire top 8, and you put Brugging, the 92% free throw shooter, on the bench.
McMurtry bringing it up, down to 102, down by 4. 2-possession game here. Now we're at 56, need something. Sense of urgency's got to start taking over here, Bill.
Yeah, you got to get a good shot.
3 for McMurtry, and he rims it in and out.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, so here's what they're doing. They're putting in their faster lineup. Brookfield Central is putting their faster lineup here. And now that it's going to be switching from the defense to the offensive end,
switch.
They're putting 25 and they're putting Brugging 34 back in.
So now, as you said earlier, this is exactly what you want to do. Score with the clock stop.
Yep.
45 seconds. If you make these 2, you're still in good shape.
Yeah, you're in the ball game. All right. Well, if you made one of the 2, but I will tell you that they should have a plan for, are they pressing in the full court? What are they doing? My guess is you got to press in the full court now.
So on the make, you're pressing full court.
And hopefully you got more than one full court press to choose from.
Makes the second. And they are coming with the press. 45 seconds left.
You don't want
down by 3. And they're saying foul him.
See, that's the guy to foul.
Yeah, Brugnick is not. He's like an 85% free throw shooter.
92.
Is he 90?
I got him 96. I take that back. According to the stat I saw, 96. Of course, now, if we're smart, we're going to jinx him because we said he was a 96% free throw shooter, and now we're putting all the pressure on him. But I think, as a senior, he really is looking for a chance to kind of make a contribution other than the 3-pointers that he's been hitting.
But you're right that Nalinsek brought it up, and he's like a 60-some percenter, isn't he?
Yep.
Plus, not to mention, you would have saved like about 5 seconds.
Right. Yeah, because it was at the top instead of on the wing.
Falls calls a timeout here. They're down by 4, 37 seconds. Lancers are going to break the timeout with one more free throw to shoot. So, Bill, it could be 5 with 37, so pretty tall order, but what do you have to do to make that come to reality?
Well, it's the same thing. You got to manage the clock. What you have to do is you got to hope he doesn't score down on this end. Then you've got to hurry up, press it in. If you can get something off of, if, let's say he misses a free throw and you're going full court, you want to take it to the hoop, take it to the hoop, take it to the hoop. You want to draw the foul. You want to hit the 2 and 1. And you want to get that's 3 points. So even if they make one here, you're back within 2. But then again, you've got to have a plan for when the ball is coming back out of bounds, if they do get the ball back or whatever, that you're going to press. Now, we didn't have a very good press that last time down here. It was kind of helter-skelter. Initially, they had 2 guys pressuring the ball. You don't need to do that, but the pass was all the way to midcourt. You need to be playing the center field. You got to be able to go for those steals.
37.1 seconds here, and we're going to decide the end of this contest. Falls is currently down by 4. Andrew is going to take his second free throw. So he said he's 96%.
Now, if he makes the free
Crowd
throw,
is making some good noise.
Yeah.
But undaunted, he drops that one in, and it's now a 5-point lead.
He's a 96% free throw shooter. That's not the guy you want to foul.
McMurtry bringing it up. Clock is ticking away. McMurtry fires up and hits it for 3. My God, he cuts that one to 2 with 28.8. and they call their last timeout to set it up. Wow.
I mean, McMurtry, just ice in the veins. Very, excuse me, but I'm going to use that analogy again, Russell Wilson-esque. I mean, you know, he just goes up there, knows what he has to do, has to hit the big shot, hits the big shot, and suddenly it's a 2-point ball game again. Now, again, now that they have a timeout, and by the way, this is their last timeout, so Falls, in the last 28.8 seconds, they got no more chance to talk. So everything that they got to do, their entire plan has to come out in this particular timeout. They have to come up with a good full court press. Hopefully it's not just straight up man-to-man. What you're looking for is some kind of, you know,
trapping
looks
of the
like
ball.
Somebody's open and they throw the ball and then, you know, we intercept in that. So you got to, you know, hopefully you got like a 1-2-1-1 full court zone press or a 2-2-1 zone press where you got a man-to-man switch into a zone press or something like that. It's just something that in your repertoire to kind of upset the Lancers, and all they have to do is make one mistake. If they make one mistake, Falls is right.
And the other
back in.
thing to that, Bill, the key is know who the bad free throw shooters are.
Right.
And foul those. So
yeah.
we're looking and anticipating full court pressure here. 28.8. Falls is down by 2. Lancers with the possession underneath the Falls bucket.
Yeah, so we got.
Strap it on, partner. This is going to be a fun 28-8 here. Lancers inbound as Brugnick gets the ball. He's collapsed.
There it is.
He's
there it
double.
is. There it is.
Timeout.
Okay. And see, that's why he had 3 timeouts left. So, but that's exactly the kind of full court pressure that we're talking about. Double team on the ball, cut off the passing routes. Perfectly executed by the Falls. Nice job, Coach Farley.
And then the other benefit to that, my friend, 4.2 seconds is all that went off. We're now at 24-6, so still a lot of time to get a turnover, do something. Even if they foul and they make a shot or make one and miss it, still got time to come down. And
here's the guy who's going to get the best shot of all. Don
Gorowisko
is right underneath the basket. So if there's going to be any exciting action, he's going to catch it for us. He's been giving us some great floor shots the whole night.
They're going to inbound it off on the side here. Again, pressure on the ball. You got number.
Got your 2 big guys in there to try to catch the ball.
So you got McMurtry in there. You got Champion in there. Dixon is in there. And again, they're trapping on the ball, creating all kinds of havoc for Brunick. And they do call a foul.
Fouls on number 34, Darrell Johnson-Handy. That's his second. Substitute for both teams for the Indians, number 2, Cross Wilson. For the Lancers,
Coach Farley didn't agree with that call.
That's Johnson-Handy. I know he plays on the JV team, but I think they brought him up to give him a special shot in the arm tonight for the Indians.
Not to mention the 96 percenters at the line.
Isn't that funny how that works?
No, we're gonna. You don't want to stick his floor.
You want him on the free throw line. I personally would want him both on the offensive and the defensive end, but what do I know?
And he makes the first. See if he can miss the second. Give it a shot. Nothing. You talk about ice in the veins there, my friend.
number 40, Cole now.
There is still life. There is still life. Down by 4, 20 seconds to go. Bryce McMurtry bringing it up. I know they're going to be on him all over, trying to, and he goes in. Nice job.
Got to get up on it. Get up on it. Get up on it. Press, press, press.
Down by 3. They got to get a turnover. And they foul number 42,
Reisner, yeah.
Chris Reisner.
Now, Reisner, remember, is a 92% free throw shooter.
Is a what?
He's a 92% free throw shooter.
Chris Reisner at the line.
If you're the Lancers, though, conversely, you're putting your best free throw shooters out there,
exactly,
right?
exactly. Well, we had the chance. We could have been fouling the guys that weren't so good, but they're smart enough not to get that.
Coach Farley exhorting the crowd, make some noise, would you? He knocks down the first one. Now, 3-point lead. Bill, there's still a chance he misses this, boy. You got to get it out and heft up a 3 to hopefully extend it to extra time, and he makes that one. I believe they've made 6 of their last 6 free throws.
I think you're right. And notice who's been on the free throw line, Brugink and Reisner, who are their two best free throw shooters. Again, that's not exactly the strategy. You don't normally want to follow their best free throw shooters. But, you know, it's a 4-point lead. It's a 4 seconds. And with the exception of Falls hitting the three and then fouling the person who's hitting the three, it's going to be kind of hard to come back from. Matter of fact, I would imagine that what he's telling the team, Timmy Central, is just get out there, token defense, don't touch anybody, don't get close to the shooter, just kind of be there. So, you know.
The worst thing for the Lancers, how we've got the camera crew, is don't foul and allow them to score with the clock stop. Now there's only 4, but
yeah, it's 4 seconds. It's more that, you know, spend some time, you know, hurry up, get that shot up. Looks like Falls is actually going to have to take it the full length of the floor. And this is an interesting strategy. This is Nick Guile, who apparently must have a strong arm.
Let it go, look out!
Yeah, strategy was, come on, follow me, while I'm hitting the three. Didn't exactly work, but great effort.
well, the Lancers hold on, and the score ends, the Indians 60 and the Lancers 64. So when you look at a partner we talked about, both teams averaged 60 points a game coming into it. Real close to where we're at. The other thing, though, was Brugink averages 20. I think he had those free throws at the end. He had 9 in the first half. He probably was a little under his average, but the other kids stepped up, had enough offense to hold off.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, they probably, you know, they held Brugink under his average. He probably had about 14 or 15 points. But, you know, the other kids stepped up. They hit big shots. Reisner, I think, was a key. He got some inside stuff. He got some outside stuff. He made his free throws down the stretch. The two freshmen, like I said, both of the two freshmen were contributing. They probably all together, the two freshmen had about 15. But when we wanted to see how good they were, we needed to foul them, and we didn't foul either one of them. So we gotta test that next time, I guess. But
as a result of that loss, the Indians moved to 10-4, 3-4 in the conference. Lancers go to 8-5, 5-2 in the conference. So Falls might find himself slipping a little bit. Certainly, still got a number of games left to do something and make some noise in the conference.
That's kind of what you do now. You're at 3-4 in the conference, and remember we said it was the end of the first round. So now you get to play everybody a second time. And believe it or not, I've been in that situation a lot where my teams learned the hard way in the first half of the season, and then in the second half of the season, they kind of responded. They understood what they had to do to win, and they kind of knew what game situations that they could be good at and that. So they will have a much better chance in the second half, I think. They're a competitive team. They're hanging in there. It's not like they're getting blown out by large margins or anything like that. And remember, they're 6-7 of the last games, and this game was a close one, so it wasn't a negative from that perspective. But second half of the season, you know, Marquette's going to be the darling of the conference right now. But you know, because they are the Hilltopper, a little play on words there. They are the Hilltopper for this first half of the season. You know, and everybody's going to inform. Everybody's going to have their best game against Marquette, and then we'll see what happens the rest of the way. I think it's a very balanced conference after you get past Marquette.
So again, the Indians come up short tonight, 60-64. On behalf of the entire Channel 14 family here, myself, Chuck Demji, and my broadcast partner, Bill Hentz, as well as Harry Stetzel and the rest of our camera crew, we wish you a very happy evening and a better tomorrow.
Go Indians.